Hi! This instructional video is about finding the surface area of cylinders. To help you visualize, let's take a look at number 1. Now, can you see that there's a circle on top and there's a circle on the bottom? But what on earth? How do you find the area of the cylinder wall? So see if this makes sense. Let me illustrate it for you, okay? Check this out. There. Can you see that if I were to separate the components, there's two circles on top and the bottom, and the cylinder wall, if I cut it and open it up, it actually unrolls to become a rectangular shape. So therefore, the length of the rectangular shape that is rolled up is coming from the circumference, the distance around the circle itself. So there's the 3 components for which you should find this area. So keeping that in mind, let's take a look at this one. The top is a circle, which is the same as the bottom. So here's a circle, and the radius given is 8 inches. So the area for that top circle is pi r squared. So the area is 3.14, and the radius is given as 8 inches, and we're going to square that. So let's evaluate the square first. So we get 3.14 times 8 times 8 is 64. Inch times inch is inch squared. So now we're going to go 3.14 times 64. 3.14 times 64. That gives us 200.96 inch squared. However, that's just one circle. So if you multiply that by 2, because there's top and the bottom, there's 2 circles there. So that becomes a total area for 2 circles is 401.92. Total area is 401.92 inch squared. So we got the area of the 2 squares. But how about the cylinder wall that unrolls to become a rectangle? So let me illustrate that. The width is the height. Can you see that? That's the height. And that becomes the width. So that's 20 inches. All right? Now the length. The length actually unrolls from a cylinder wall. So that's a circumference of 2 pi r. And whatever you get, that's actually the length. So do that computation. C equals 2 times 3.14 times the radius given is 8. So that's 2 times the 8 is 16 inches times 3.14. So let's do that on the calculator. 16 times 3.14. That equals 50.24. 50.24 inches long, not square, long. Now we're going to do that. Take the circumference and find the rectangular area. Length times width. Length is coming from the circumference, which is now 50.24 inches, times the width is the given 20 inches in height of the cylinder. So that's 20 inches. So 50.24 times the height, 20, is 100.48. 100.48 inch square. So that's the area of the cylinder wall. So what should you do with the 2 circle areas and the area of a cylinder wall? You add them to get the total area. So area total is 401.92 inch square plus 100.48 inch square. So the area total becomes, let's add to 100.48 the 2 circles, 401.92 92, and that equals 1406.72 inch square, and that's the area total of the two circles, top and bottom, and the cylinder wall, which unrolls to become a rectangle. Did you get all that? Yeah. So now, keeping that picture in mind, why don't you try to get the total surface area of that cylinder? Go ahead. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Here's the remaining of the work when I raise it up. There you go. Right there. Okay? Right there. Sorry about that. Now go ahead. Number 2. Okay, so it's same old, isn't it? You have to find the area of the two circles, the top and the bottom, and find the wall, cylinder wall, which will take shape as a rectangle when you unroll it. All right, so let's figure that out, okay? See if I get the same thing you got. So the area of a circle, the top, is pi r squared. So the A equals 3.14 times the radius given is this time 2 millimeter. And we're going to square that. So that's 3.14 times 2 squared, which is 4, and millimeter times another millimeter is millimeter squared. Now, I happen to memorize this one. So 4 times the 3.14 is 12.56 millimeters squared. But that's just one circle. Since there's 2, we multiply by 2. So we get 25.12 millimeters squared. So that's the total area of the two circles. Now, we have to find the circumference, which will help us determine the length. So the circumference is 2 pi r. So that's 2 times 3.14 times the radius was 2 millimeters. So it turns out to be 4 millimeters, because 2 times that 2 millimeters, times 3.14. Once again, it's the same number as before. That's 12.56 millimeters. Now, that's the distance of a rectangle. Okay? That's that guy right there. So what's the width? The width is the height of that cylinder, which is 8 millimeters. So the area of the rectangle, which rolls up to become the cylinder wall, see, is length times width. So the length is 12.56, which was the circumference, times the height, which was the width of 8. So 12.56 times the 8, that gives me 100.48. So the area of the cylinder wall is 100.48 millimeters squared. There's the area of the two circles. That's the area of the cylinder wall, the rectangle that is. And now we add them to get the area total. So that's 100.48 plus 25.12. That's going to be 1256. No, that's 125. 125.6. I want to make sure I get the decimal places correct. So that's the total amount of material I'll need to be able to reconstruct the scale model of that one, or the model of that one. So, we finally come to this part. Yeah, this one's going to be a little tricky, so let's give that a chili pepper. It's going to be spicy. Why don't you look at it and try to figure out the total surface area of that following what appears to be a half of a cylinder. Uh-huh.